Hi, my name is Quinton Roland, and I want to welcome you to the city of Willits, California. We're a small town about 2 hours north of San Francisco. I've been the city's water conservation specialist for the last couple of years, and today we're proud to present a number of exciting water conservation projects that we've been working on. The first type of project is our Graywater reuse systems. These are legal, they're easy to install, and they're affordable. The second type of project we've been working on is our rainwater harvesting systems that include solar power irrigation of community vegetable gardens. And the third type of project is our bioswales and our retention ponds. In Willits, we've learned that if we want to continue building our dreams while living within our means, we're going to have to learn to use water much more efficiently.
My name's Falleri. I'm the Community Development Director for the City of Willits, and when I came here about 10 years ago, one of the pressing issues before the city was concerned about our water system and our ability to provide water service to our customers. And there were state agencies as well as some of our local staff that were expressing concern about that, and we hired some consultants to study that issue, and they concluded that we did not have adequate water to serve in all hydrologic conditions. So we gathered a group of citizens together to write a grant proposal to the California Pollution Control Financing Authority. We were successful getting that grant, and the grant was designed to look at various ways that we could explore water conservation issues.
The first way is the way we're going to be using Graywater. It's outdoor for irrigation. It's low-tech, simple systems. These are lowest cost, simplest. They also tend to work the best because there's less things to break. Call it landscape direct low-tech, and we try not to have pumps whenever possible, no filters that need to be manually cleaned, and there's no connection to the other water supply. It's from showers, baths, washing machines, and sinks, bathroom sinks, lavatory bathroom sinks. Kitchen sinks in California is not considered Graywater. In other states it is, but you can't get a permit and do a legal kitchen sink system under the current regulations in California. It is not from toilets, and it's not from washing cloth diapers. The first one is the potential environmental pollution. Graywater has nutrients in it. It's like small amounts of fertilizer. If it's put in the wrong place, like a waterway, like a creek or river, that will pollute it. If it's put onto your landscape, like to your tree, that will be a fertilizer, and that's good for it. So it's really important that Graywater never gets into creeks or waterways. It always stays on the land and soaks into the ground. The other way it could pollute is if people are using harmful chemicals and in the water, and that's getting into the landscape. That's going to be polluting to the environment. The other concern is potential contact with pathogens. So if somebody is sick and they wash their hands, or their germs get into the water, someone else drinks that water or gets it on their hands and then licks their fingers or something, they could potentially get sick. So to avoid that potential route, we want to make sure that Graywater soaking into the ground, people aren't coming in contact with it.
This is just a conceptual drawing to kind of show you what's happening. From the washer, the little corrugated looking hose is going into a diverter valve. And so the diverter valve will be going, the inlet is the branch of the T, and one side will be going back to the sewer, and the other will be going outside the wall and into the rest of the system that will irrigate all the plants. These three-way valves are designed to go one way or another. There's no real halfway point in between. The most important part is the diverter valve. Once everything's done, it's not shown in this picture, but the diverter valve should be clearly labeled. Because this one is going in through the floor, we want the anti-siphon at the highest point, and then the Graywater is going out through the floor and out to the landscape.
So what's exciting about the new state Graywater laws is that simple residential Graywater systems are now legal, and they don't require a permit, or they do require a simple permit depending on the jurisdiction. They do not require a treatment facility. They do not require a pump or a holding tank and a number of other things that we used to assume. That's exciting news. And now I've got a couple of boards here I want to show you that describe the two simple Graywater systems that are being promoted in Willits. The laundry landscape system and the branch drain Graywater system. The first one here on the left shows you the washing machine where the Graywater comes out the back and goes through the three-way valve. That three-way valve is the key component to the whole system, which is required by the new laws, and that allows you to direct the Graywater either to the sewer by turning the lever or out to the landscape. It's a mildly pressurized system, and the pump from the washing machine actually pushes the water out to your landscape. So it doesn't necessarily have to be downhill. It can be level, and sometimes in some cases can travel uphill a little bit. The other system I have here is called the branch drain graywater system, or some people call it the showers to flowers system. That can include your washing machine graywater, your bathtub and shower graywater, and your bathroom sink graywater. You can do either individual or all this water can combine, and it goes out through your three-way valve here, and that intercepts the water before it gets to your black water, which is your sewage water. And that either directs the water to your sewer here or out to your landscape. And you branch the flow of the water out through this design into the mulch basins, and these are the mulch shields. If you're interested in installing your own simple, legal, residential graywater system, contact City Hall. We've got 8 or 9 local certified graywater installers who can help you design a great system that's robust, it's affordable, and it saves you a lot of water.
PE, it's not
Yeah, it's not PVC. PVC is the white
Okay, we're
stuff.
supposed to take turns. Peter gets to pick one.
It's all right. I know all this stuff.
Oh, good. Well, then you can help us.
I bet you don't know
I'm
what
just
that
I
is.
know what that green thing
I'll
is.
bet you don't.
Inline ball valve.
Yeah.
To either the sewer or
Putting it right there in the blank spot.
It's a 1 inch by inch and a quarter rubber double dye knot.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do this.
We were wondering if you wanted to go down that way, but this is your end, huh?
At this point, yeah. So it's like, ooh, we get to dual plumb for Graywater. Yeah.
My name is Antonia Partridge. I am the farm manager here at Brookside School Farm, and it's a 1-acre organic farm growing fresh fruits and vegetables for the school district cafeterias. And back here we've got our rainwater catchment tank. It collects 14,000 gallons of water that come off of the roof of these buildings over here. And that water is held through the winter as it collects from the rain that falls typically in this climate November through May. And then usually around June we start irrigating, and it goes to our perennial crops of grapes and fruit trees and raspberries and blackberries, and they receive catchment water that's put out as irrigation water. And we have a pumping system that's solar paneled. The farm is off the grid for electrical. The pump pressurizes the water and sends it through the irrigation pipes out to the crop.
Well, hi, my name is Mason Gim, and I am an AmeriCorps Vista member working for a nonprofit called the Gardens Project. And I currently work with a community garden called the Willits Integrated Service Center Community Garden. The community garden has been a recipient of an amazing water conservation grant, and that grant has been used to demonstrate to other members of the community how to conserve water and ways to handle stormwater drainage. Right here behind me we have an example of a 10,000 gallon rainwater capture tank. The rainwater capture tank is filled by water coming off of the building located next to it. Water from the building drains into the tank, and then when the tank is full, a float valve closes and the pipe is closed, and the water that would be going into the tank then flows into the bioswales that run throughout the length of the garden and outside of the garden, redirecting the water to above some fruit trees that we have planted. The rainwater capture tank has a solar system on it that allows us to get adequate pressure to run a low flow drip system to be able to irrigate some land. The garden uses a total of somewhere around 30,000 gallons of water per year, and the 10,000 gallon rainwater tank will do about a third of the water use that we need for the entire garden. Using low flow drip, we can irrigate about 1,500 square feet. We'll use about 92.6 gallons of water per day. With that, we can irrigate for 3 months and use a total of 8,334 gallons and still have some left over for other small waterings that we need to do. The solar panel is hooked up to a battery that's hooked up to a pump that maintains a pressure in our irrigation system and makes the rainwater tank usable.
My name is David Parch, and my wife Ursula and I live here in Willits. I and my wife both are certified permaculture consultants and give instructions in permaculture. Okay, we have basically 3 different strategies here for conserving and better use of water. In the front yard, we have drought-tolerant plants, which virtually need no water at all. We built this swale to trap the water coming down off the hill, and it will collect in there and saturate into the ground instead of running off. We take a lot of the water that's coming off of our roof here, and we actually make the water go back uphill and keep it in low-lying spaces back there where it will sit like a little lake in the winter and saturate slowly into the ground. And on this side of the house over here, we do the same thing with water coming off of the roof, but there we trap it into a very small pond. We estimate that probably something like about 10,000 gallons of water comes off of the roof here into that pond every year. So that's a significant amount of groundwater recharge. So that basically covers our strategies here.
Really fun.
It's been really fantastic. You guys have been an amazing group. I mean, everybody's been incredibly fun. This is exactly what we were hoping for. I mean, you never know how things are going to turn out. Everybody just a lot of happy and determined faces, and it looks like we got it done. We did something really big. I mean, this is unprecedented for a small town. This is just the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Just the beginning.
We'll do many
You
more.
are the ambassadors. You're the beginning of the Graywater program in Willits.
I'm all choked up.
Thank you to Willits for doing this grant. You know, it has made it possible for me to put this system in today. And it's also made it possible for me to go and teach other people. I think it's very inspiring, and what a gift. Thank you.
I think it's really cool. For me, it is kind of inspiring. I like to think that there's
a generation of activists who are saying yes instead of saying no. And I think that that's a real good path for us all to take.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have any questions about any of these projects, what worked, what didn't work, how we can help you with similar projects, feel free to call the City of Willits, and we'd love to give you more information and help you in any way we can. With your help and the Willits can-do mentality, we know that water conservation is one of the keys to continuing to build our dreams. Thank you.
Really need to thank the California Pollution Control Financing Authority for giving us the grant, and especially Deanna Hamlin, who was our grant manager, showed a lot of support and patience throughout a fairly lengthy, and it was a 3-year grant, so it was quite a process. So I also need to thank the County of Mendocino. They provided this site for our rainwater harvesting and our low impact development demonstration, and the Willits Unified School District provided the Brookside School Farm. We were able to incorporate 2 community gardens into our water conservation projects. So basically, I'd like to close by just saying that even though this grant is coming to an end, our 3-year grant is up here in a couple of days. I think that water conservation is going to continue to be a major issue for us. We're going to continue to face water problems in the future. And so we need to continue to work on developing water conservation strategies that we can use here locally and demonstrate to the world.